Imagine this. A penguin returns across hundreds of kilometers of Antarctic ice, searching for the same breeding partner from the previous season. A wolf remains beside its injured mate, reluctant to leave even as the rest of the pack moves on. An elephant gently explores the bones of another elephant that died years ago. Are these animals experiencing love, or are they simply following instinct? For thousands of years, humans believed love was something that made us unique. Poets celebrated it. Philosophers debated it. Scientists tried to explain it. But modern biology has revealed something remarkable. The biological foundations of love may be far older than humanity itself. Today, I'll answer three fascinating questions. Why did the biology of love evolve? Can animals experience something similar to love? And if they can, what truly makes human love different? Let's begin. Love often feels mysterious, almost magical, but evolution doesn't create emotions because they're beautiful. It favors biological traits that help organisms survive and reproduce. So, why would evolution favor the ability to form deep emotional bonds? The answer begins with one surprising fact. Human babies are among the most helpless young in the animal kingdom. A newborn horse can stand within hours. A sea turtle hatches and crawls toward the ocean on its own. A human baby needs years of protection, feeding, and learning before becoming independent. For our ancestors, raising children successfully often required years of cooperation between parents and often help from grandparents and other relatives. Individuals who formed strong social bonds were more likely to keep their children alive long enough to reproduce. Over millions of years, natural selection favored brains capable of forming lasting attachments. That's why falling in love changes your brain. During early attraction, activity increases in the brain's reward system, driven largely by dopamine. The person you're attracted to becomes unusually important. You think about them constantly. You want to be near them. Adrenaline and noradrenaline contribute to the racing heart, sweaty palms, and the familiar butterflies many people experience. As relationships become more stable, hormones such as oxytocin and vasopressin help strengthen social attachment and long-term bonding. Together, these systems encourage cooperation, caregiving, and lasting relationships. In other words, the biology of love didn't evolve to create romance. It evolved because in many situations, strong social bonds increase the chances of survival and reproduction. But here's something fascinating. Humans aren't the only species that depend on cooperation. Many wolves raise pups together. Many birds share the work of incubating eggs and feeding chicks. Some mammals remain with the same partner for years. If cooperation helped humans survive, did evolution build similar bonding systems in other animals? Let's find out. The answer is yes, but only in certain species. Most animals don't form long-term pair bonds. Sea turtles lay their eggs and leave. Many fish never meet their offspring. In species where one parent can successfully raise young or where parents provide no care at all, forming a lasting partnership offers little evolutionary advantage. So, natural selection never strongly favored it. But when raising young requires teamwork, everything changes. Wolves often maintain long-term pair bonds while raising pups together. Many penguin species reunite with the same partner across multiple breeding seasons, although not always for life. Swans frequently form long-lasting pair bonds while cooperating to defend territory and raise their cygnets. Interestingly, these bonding systems did not all evolve from a single common ancestor. Instead, they evolved independently in different groups of animals, a process known as convergent evolution. Again and again, evolution arrived at a similar solution. When cooperation improves survival, lasting social bonds often become advantageous. Perhaps the most remarkable evidence comes from two tiny rodents that look almost identical: prairie voles and meadow voles. Prairie voles usually form lifelong pair bonds. Meadow voles usually do not. Scientists expected to find completely different hormones. Instead, they found something far more surprising. Both species produce many of the same hormones. The major difference lies in their brains. Prairie voles have many more oxytocin and vasopressin receptors in brain regions involved in reward and social attachment. As a result, spending time with a partner becomes far more rewarding. That makes lasting bonds much more likely. A relatively small difference in how the brain responds to the same hormones produces dramatically different social lives. So, we've answered our first question. Yes, many animals possess biological systems for forming strong social bonds that resemble our own. But that leads to an even bigger mystery. Sharing similar brain circuits doesn't necessarily mean sharing the same conscious experience. Do animals actually feel love the way humans do, or are these simply biological programs guiding their behavior? In the next part, we'll see what modern neuroscience can and cannot tell us. Before I answer that question, if you're enjoying this video and love exploring science, evolution, the human body, and the mysteries of nature, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me create more videos like this. Do animals feel love like humans? The answer is we don't know. That might sound disappointing, but it's one of the most fascinating questions in neuroscience. In the last section, we learned that many animals share biological systems that support long-term social bonds. But sharing similar brain circuits doesn't automatically mean sharing the same conscious experience. So, how can scientists investigate something they can't directly observe? By studying the brain and by studying behavior. Researchers have found that many mammals and likely some birds show changes in brain activity when interacting with a bonded partner. Dopamine helps make that partner rewarding. Oxytocin and vasopressin help regulate social attachment and strengthen long-term bonds. Bonded animals often seek physical closeness. They become distressed when separated. Some repeatedly search for missing partners. Others call out for them. Some even eat less or show prolonged signs of stress after losing a long-term companion. These responses are remarkably similar to what humans often experience during separation from someone they love. But similarity isn't proof. Science can measure hormones, it can record brain activity, it can observe behavior. What it cannot measure is subjective experience. No brain scan can tell us exactly what another individual feels, not even another human. We know another person's emotions because they can describe them. Animals cannot. So, do animals fall in love exactly as humans do? The honest scientific answer is we don't know. The evidence strongly suggests that many mammals and likely some birds experience powerful forms of attachment and affection. Whether those experiences feel the same as human love remains one of biology's greatest mysteries. So, we've answered our second question. Animals appear to share many of the biological foundations of love, but whether they experience love exactly as humans do remains unknown, which brings us to our final question. So, we've learned that many animals share the biology of attachment with us. If that's true, why does human love feel so unique? What makes human love different? The answer isn't that humans have completely different hormones. In fact, many of the biological systems involved in attachment are shared across mammals. The biggest difference lies in what the human brain does with those ancient systems. Many mammals, and likely some birds, experience emotions. They learn from experience. They remember individuals. They recognize family members. They form friendships and social bonds. Some even appear to grieve. Humans do all of those things, but we add something extraordinary. We reflect on our own emotions. We imagine futures that haven't happened yet. We remember the distant past. We create stories about our relationships. We write poems, compose music, paint masterpieces, create weddings, celebrate anniversaries, and sometimes devote our entire lives to another person. Language allows us to describe love. Culture shapes how we express it. Self-awareness lets us think about our own feelings. Imagination allows us to picture a lifetime with someone we care about. The biological foundations may be ancient, but the human mind transforms those foundations into something extraordinarily rich and complex. So here's the answer to our final question. Human love is probably not biologically unique because the systems that support it are shared with many other animals. What may be unique is how the human mind builds on those systems, using language, imagination, memory, and culture to interpret and express love in ways no other species has yet been shown to do. But that leaves us with one final mystery. Did humans invent love, or are we simply experiencing the most complex expression of a biological system that evolution began building hundreds of millions of years ago? So, did humans invent love? The evidence suggests the answer is no. Humans didn't invent the biological foundations of love. We inherited them from ancestors that lived millions of years before our own species existed. Across millions of years of evolution, natural selection repeatedly favored strong social bonds whenever they improved survival and the chances of successfully raising offspring. That's why many mammals and likely some birds, share brain systems remarkably similar to our own. Biological systems underlying love didn't evolve to create romance. They evolved because in many situations, cooperation increased the chances of survival and reproduction. Humans inherited those ancient biological foundations, but our extraordinary cognitive abilities transform them. Language allows us to describe love. Memory lets us cherish moments from years ago. Imagination lets us dream about a future together. Culture gives love traditions, rituals, music, literature, and meaning. So, can animals fall in love like humans? The most scientifically accurate answer is evidence strongly suggests that many mammals and likely some birds experience powerful attachment, affection, and long-term social bonds through biological systems remarkably similar to our own. Whether their subjective experience is identical to human love, no one knows, and perhaps no one ever will. Every conscious mind experiences the world from the inside. A wolf cannot tell us what it feels when reunited with its mate. A penguin cannot describe months of separation. An elephant cannot explain what passes through its mind while gently touching the bones of another elephant. Those experiences remain forever hidden behind minds we can never fully enter. Perhaps evolution began building the biological foundations of love hundreds of millions of years ago, and humanity transformed those ancient foundations into something even more complex. Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether animals love like we do, but whether we'll ever truly understand what it feels like to be another conscious being. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think an animal you've known has ever experienced something that looked like love? Maybe it was the bond between two animals, or perhaps the relationship between a pet and its human. Tell me what you observed and why you interpreted it that way in the comments below. I read as many of your comments as I can, and I always enjoy hearing your perspectives. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's fascinated by science and the natural world. Thank you for watching, and don't miss the next video, where we'll explore another mystery about biology, evolution, and the remarkable world we all share. Till next time, keep questioning, because every answer leads to an even better question.